Oh, hey there. Probably didn't see that because it was so fast. Today I'm going to be giving you my top 3 tips for HYROX rowing. So for my top 3 HYROX rowing tips, number 1 is going to be a smooth and efficient transition. Number 2, use the recovery stroke. It's called a recovery stroke for a reason. Number 3, pace yourself. We don't need to go fast. It's 1/16th of the entire HYROX race. So in HYROX, you'll be coming in from the rock zone. Knowing that, we're gonna have rowers either side of us with the ends of them facing in, which means we're either gonna be running in from just behind the rower, or we're gonna end up running in from side on. Let's take a look at how to get into the rower efficiently. So I'm gonna slow it down for you. What's gonna happen is you're gonna be running in from the side. You place one hand on the seat, one hand on the handle. Then from there, you strap your foot in. As you've gotten it in, you push back. As you come back in, the other foot slides in and Bob's your uncle, you're ready to go. So obviously you're gonna be quite excited, you're gonna be quite flustered. Sometimes we get into the rower and then we go to put our foot in on this second one, but miss it. If that happens, honestly, if you don't even get it in, not a problem, you'll be able to row with one strap. So we've spoken about how to get into the rower. The next thing is getting out of the rower efficiently. When we do this, handle down, we slide our feet up, then out. So up, then out. If I try to just pull my foot out like this, I get stuck. So we're thinking up, out, and then we're off and out into the rock zone. Just like anything else, training how to get into and out of the rower is going to be a skill that you need to practice. So what I would do is in your warm-up, try and include it at least 1, maybe 2 times a week, where you're intentionally getting in and out of the rower nice and fast for about 10 sets, where you end up doing a couple pulls in between. That way, by the time you get to HYROX, you can dominate your transition. So when we're rowing, the last thing that we want to do is look like we are just a salmon flapping about. Instead, what we should think about is driving out nice and hard. Think of this like a sumo deadlift high pull. You're going to be pushing out the legs, pulling with the arms. Then this portion from here to here is called my recovery stroke. That means I work hard here, I relax as I come in. I work hard here, and then I relax and I come in. So looking at this in motion, I'm going to be pushing hard and then recovering on the way in. Push out, recover. Push out, recover. Push out, recover. If I wasn't doing that as well, what we see people doing is rushing in and out super, super fast. And although that gets my strokes per minute really high, it doesn't mean that my pace is high as well. This is why we're gonna have a look at the screen. So, Future Tammy wanted to give you guys a little bit more of an in-depth description of the screen. So what I'm gonna do is just quickly talk about the different things that you're looking at so that you can understand what to look for when you're actually rowing. And then I'm gonna take you through a little bit of a segment where I'm moving and showing you it in action. So first things first, we're gonna talk about this part of the screen. This top bit is the time that you're working for. This next bit is your strokes per minute. So how many strokes you are doing per minute. The next segment here, this big number that you're gonna see, every single stroke that you take, this is your pace per 500 meters. So if you're a bit of an inconsistent rower, you're gonna see that number jumping up and down. Ideally though, we wanna see it steadying out or being relatively similar. With the next number, this is gonna be the average per 500, right? So obviously, like we just spoke about before, you're gonna be rowing and there might be like a little bit of a discrepancy between those numbers and each stroke, but at the end, this is gonna be the average pace per 500. Now we know that if I'm rowing a 2-minute pace per 500, that's gonna mean that my 1,000 meters, which is what you have in your HYROX event, is gonna take me 4 minutes, right? The next thing we're gonna have a look at here is just the bottom bit here, which is gonna be your distance. So let's have a look at different stroke rates, talking about coming in and out nice and fast, going out a little bit slower. It's more about using that recovery stroke to your benefit. So on the screen, on the top screen, you're gonna see me rowing a little bit less efficiently. The bottom screen is gonna have me rowing with that nice recovery stroke in it. You'll notice that the top right hand of both of my screens is the strokes per minute, with the faster one being up near 40, holding about 1:58 to 2-minute pace, and the bottom one being a relatively similar pace, but 20 strokes less. Which do you think would be more beneficial in the middle of a race where I'm trying to keep my heart rate lower? probably the longer, slower strokes. So something to understand when trying to nail that recovery stroke is also just the pattern in which it should happen. When we do the row, it's legs, then our arms pull, our arms should return first, then our legs follow. So it looks like this. I'm pushing back with the legs, then driving with the arms return first. Legs, arms, legs. Legs, arms, legs. So, final tip of the day, don't sprint out the gates. Even if you are someone who's really solid at rowing, it is 1/16 of an entire race, and it's also pretty close towards the forefront of the workout. We should still be feeling pretty good at this point, feeling smooth, settle into a pace that does not kill you. If we think about it, let's just say I was very comfortable rowing a 2-minute pace per 500, and I could get off and head into my next run, be super consistent, and feel relatively fresh for the remainder of the race, versus going at a 1:55 pace where now my heart rate is jacked up, I'm breathing really heavy, I feel pretty fatigued. It's only gonna save me 10 seconds. That 10 seconds, I can easily make up on a run, a better transition on some other movement. I'll have much more energy to give. Remember, this is a pacing game. Make sure that you don't go out too hot and hold on. Instead, we're thinking about smooth and steady. We should be able to finish stronger. All right, guys, if you've liked this video, make sure you give it a like, subscribe, or comment below if you want to see any more tutorial videos relevant to HYROX. I'm out.